Lolo, you want tacos? You want to know a secret? This is just water in a tea mug. Hey girl, come here often. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome.
I've got the power of a hawk in my hands, and I like it!
To my channel. Yes, if you watched my last video, I am still in the same spot because this video was filmed directly after that one. I'm about to go to the gym, but before I do, I wanted to talk to you guys about me literary side. I did hint in my previous video that I wanted to talk more about literature on this channel because if you know me in real life, you know I'm a book slut. I love some books. A book babe. A book baddie. Ooh. Books are my life.
Oh my god, I love Chipotle. Chipotle is my life.
You know I love them. They're just amazing. And I thought I'd talk to you guys today about what I'm currently reading or will read. It's pretty vast. So I'm just gonna move you guys around as I talk because my books are kind of scattered throughout the living room and I don't really feel like removing them off the shelves because I'm lazy. So we'll go with the ones that are on my coffee table first. The first book is When God Was a Woman. This book by Merlin Stone. It says the landmark exploration of the ancient worship of the great goddess and the eventual suppression of women's rights. Seems very on brand for what's currently happening in the US, but also I saw this book was recommended to me because I've been reading a lot of literature based on women and femininity and feminism and and so Amazon recommended me this book. They were like, I think you're gonna like this. And then I was like, you right. Jeff Bezos always knows. So I ordered it. It says, in the beginning, God was a woman. Isn't that like an Ariana Grande song? Here is an invitation to discover a past that has been buried by millennia of Judeo-Christian myth and corresponding social order. Merlin Stone tells us in fascinating detail the story of the goddess who reigned supreme in the near Middle East. There she was revered as a wise creator and the one source of universal order, not simply as a fertility symbol, as some historians would have us believe, but under the goddess, social roles differ remarkably from those in patriarchal judicial Christian cultures. Women bought and sold property, traded in the marketplace, and inherited titles and lands from their mothers. How did the shift from matriarchy to patriarchy come about? By documenting the wholesale rewriting of myth and religious dharmas, Merlin Stone describes an ancient conspiracy in which goddess was reimagined as a wanton, depraved figure, a characterization confirmed and permeated by one of the modern culture's best-known legends, that of Adam and the fallen Eve. Insightful and thought-provoking, this is essential reading for anyone interested in the origins of current gender roles and rediscovering women's power. Wow, what a blurb. And it tells you a lot, and I highly recommend reading this if you're interested in women. Just learning about how do we get here? Where we're fighting for our lives. The next thing is Where We Go When All We Were Is Gone. Wow, what a title. This book is beautiful. It is a beautiful book. And this is by Sequoia Numatsu. Ooh, if I butchered that, I'm so sorry. And it's a combination of the mythical and magical and marvelous. Sequoia's weaves a collection of bold, hysterical, and moving tales into an unforgettable debut, from shapeshifters to star makers to babies made of snow. This is a collection of stories, I believe. I've not read it yet, but I have another Sequoia book somewhere that I'll talk about later. And I've been wanting to read this one for a while. I think this was his debut or her debut, their debut. I don't know Sequoia's pronouns, but this was their debut. So I'm really excited to read this. Next is this beauty. Oh my God. Beautiful book. Violeta is how you say that. Yeah, I know words. And it's by Isabel Aldande. Oh, girl, look. Okay, we're going to just address the elephant in the room. I don't know how to read, but I like to. I would like to. I try. And really, that's all you can really ask for. So if I butcher these names, I'm sorry. So Violeta comes into a world on a stormy day in 1920. The first girl in a family with 5 Bolshevik sons. From the start, her life is marked by extraordinary events, for the ripples of the Great War are still being felt, even as the Spanish flu arrives on the shores of her South American homeland almost at the moment of her birth. Because of her father's perseverance, the family will come through the crisis unscathed, only to face a new one as the Great Depression transforms the genteel city life she had known. Her family loses everything and is forced to retreat into a wild but beautiful but remote part of the country. There she will come of age and her first suitor will come calling. Violeta's story tells in the form of letters to someone she loves above all others, recounting tales of devastating heartbreak, passionate affairs, poverty, wealth, terrible loss, and immense joy. Her life is shaped by some of the most important events of history, the fight for women's rights, and ultimately not one but 2 pandemics. Girl, join the club. Through the eyes of a woman whose unforgettable passion, determination, and sense of humor carry her through a life of upheaval, Isabella once again brings us an epic that is both fierce, inspiring, and deeply emotional. Oh, that just sounds so nice. It's a beautiful cover, and I'm excited to read it. I really resonated with Violeta's story because obviously she who not be named is still around and kicking, and we're 2 years later. So I'm gonna pretend to drink because I thought there was something in here, and it looks weird if I don't, but it's now empty. Okay, moving along. As you can tell, I have moved. I said I would bring you to other parts of my house. And this is one part. So I was sitting in front of that couch, and this is my old school library book cart that I keep things on. And most importantly, I keep Harry Styles. But this is not about my love of Harry Styles. This is about my love of books. And the other things that I wanted to read are here. The first book is Olga Dies Dreaming. I mostly picked this book because look at the cover. She's giving. I feel like these covers have like a chokehold on the publishing industry, but they also have a chokehold on me. So I don't mind. I really love the blue Puerto Rican flag in her hair. I love the flowers for her like native country, like the cityscape on her collarbone, her like décolletage. And it really tells you about Olga. So this is by Xochitl Gonzalez. It's 2017. I wish. And Olga and her brother Pedro are bold-faced names in their hometown of New York City. Pedro is a popular congressman representing their gentrifying Latino ex-neighborhood in Brooklyn, while Olga is the Tony wedding planner for Manhattan's power brokers. Despite their alluring public lives, behind closed doors, things are far less rosy. Sure, Olga can orchestrate the love stories of the 1%, but she can't seem to find her own until she meets Mateo, who forces her to confront the effects of long-held family secrets. Olga and Pedro's mother, Blanca, a young lord turned radical, abandoned her children to advance a military political cause, leaving them to be raised by their grandmother. Now, with the winds of hurricane season, Blanca has come barely back into their lives. Set against the backdrop of New York City in the months surrounding the most devastating hurricane in Puerto Rico history, Xochitl Gonzalez, Olga Dies Dreaming is a story that examines political corruption, family strife, and the very notion of the American dream, all while asking what it really means to weather a storm. Love that for us. I'm very excited to read this. This next book. So this next book is Crying in H-mart. It's a memoir by Michelle Zauner. And this book was recommended to me by a friend who knew I had recently lost my mother, and they thought that I would enjoy this book. So I picked up a copy, and it's beautiful, and I'm really excited to read it. So let's see what it's about. It says, when Michelle Zauner was in her mid-20s, working as a waitress, struggling to launch her music career in Philadelphia, she got a call that her mother was ill. She put her life on hold, flew home to Eugene, Oregon, to be with her mother through the final excruciating months of her battle with cancer. This is Zauner's searingly candid coming-of-age story of growing apart from and then back together with her Korean identity, and of forging her own path in the wake of a devastating loss. With humor and heart, she tells of growing up Asian American, straining to meet her mother's expectation, moving across the country, returning home to reckon with grief. She recalls treasuring childhood holidays spent in her grandmother's tiny apartment in Seoul, and now in adulthood, learning to cook the Korean dishes that revive and nourish those memories. She savors the unexpected solace of weekly trips to her favorite Asian grocery store. Plain-spoken, lyrical, and honest, Crying in H-mart is an exquisite debut, a book to try to share and reread. Wow, I'm excited. This seems like it's gonna ruin me, and hey, we all need that, a little of that. So, I'm also gonna zoom you guys in because I feel like you're very full. Okay, so the next book is Fiona and Jane. I'm so excited about this. It's by Jean Ching Ho. Again, beautiful cover. Best friends in second grade, Fiona, Lynn, and Jane Shin explores the lonely freeways of seedy bars in Los Angeles together through their teenage years, surviving unfulfilling romantic encounters, carrying within the scars of their family's tumultuous past. Fiona was always destined to leave her effortless beauty, fierce ambition, qualities that Jane admired and feared in equal measure. When Fiona moves to New York City and cares for a sick friend through a breakup with an opportunistic boyfriend, Jane remains in California and grieves her estranged father's sudden death, in the process alienating an overzealous girlfriend. Strained by distance and unintended betrayals, the women float in and out of each other's lives, their friendship both a beacon of home and a reminder of all they've lost. In stories told in alternate voices, Jean Ching Ho's debut collection peeks back the layers of female friendship, the intensity, the resentment, and balanced love, to probe the beating hearts of young women coming to terms with themselves and each other in light of insecurities and shame that holds them back. Spanning countries and selves, Fiona and Jane is an intimate portrait of a friendship, deep dive into the universal complexities of being young and alive, and embracing an honest account of two Asian American women who dare to stake a claim on joy in a changing contemporary America. Whew! I'm excited. I think it should be a fun time. This book, about a year ago, everybody was talking about it here on the tubes and the ticks of the talks. And I bought it then and was like, love me some Sally Rooney. I've read Normal People. Yep. I was like, I love me some Sally Rooney. I've read Normal People. I've read Conversation with Friends. I've seen the Hulu's shows. And yet, I've not read this yet. It's not that I don't want to. It's just that I have so many books to read and I haven't gotten to it. So if you, like me, have not read it yet, but you've seen it, or you have lived under a rock, hello Patrick Star, I am going to tell you about this book. It's by Sally Rooney, the author of Normal People. It's a beautiful world. Where are you? And this book is so pretty, aesthetically pleasing. Alice, a novelist, meets Felix, who works in a warehouse, and asks him if he would like to travel to Rome with her. In Dublin, her best friend, Eileen, is getting over a breakup and slips back into flirting with Simon, a man she has known since childhood. Alex, Felix, Eileen, and Simon are still young, and life is catching up with them. They desire each other, they delude each other. They worry about sex and friendship and the world they live in. Are they standing in the last lighted room before the darkness, bearing witness to something? Will they find a way to believe in a beautiful world? Can we just take a moment and appreciate that last two sentences? Are they standing in the last lighted room before the darkness, bearing witness to something? Will they find a way to believe in a beautiful world? Sally Rooney. Ladies and gentlemen, her. I mean, the way she blends together sentences, I forget. And it makes me want to stop what I'm reading and pick this book up immediately. I want that tattooed on me. It's just so pretty. Okay, so these 4 books I've already read, so we don't need to talk about those. It's Normal People by Sally Rooney, Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid, another phenomenal author that is having her moment right now, along with Colleen Hoover. The Facts of Winter. This little book I actually picked up in a thrift store, like a thrifted bookstore, like a secondhand bookstore, and it's a book of poetry that was adapted from French, and it's like the coolest little book. I think I carried it around with me for like a solid year. And then I just have like the perks of being a wallflower because I just thought it matched the aesthetic of these books. Yeah, so we'll move to the final shelf to show you the last few books. Ooh. No camera, you're not allowed to die. You're not doing that. It's much later now, as you can tell, because I'm like struggling to find light. Hats Clean Kitchen. My camera died. Didn't work out, but I was still productive. Okay, so as I was explaining, I have a few books on this shelf that I have not read yet, and I wanted to show you those books. These I have read, so we won't go over those, but notable mention, Ariadne. If you have not read this book, please read it. Jennifer Saint, she's the saint, and she has a lecture out right now, which I almost bought today in the mall when I went into Barnes & Noble, but I was like, ooh, I kind of like the UK cover better, so I want to try to find the UK cover online. We've already read Before the Coffee Gets Cold, but honorable mention, this book is amazing. It's a collection of short stories kind of interweaved about this coffee shop where if the person sits down, they kind of time travel, I guess, to a different, like to the same cafe at a different time, and there's like, it's towed between a couple of different people. It's, I don't know, it's really hard to explain, but it's really good. It's a very quick read. You could probably read it in like one afternoon. Other than that book, we have How High We Go in the Dark. This is by Sequoia Nemamatsu, the same person from like book 2. Look at this cover. How aesthetically pleasing is this cover? Like, beautiful. Okay, so this book is set in 2030. Hopefully we get there. We all get there to see that. In 2030, a grieving archaeologist arrives in the Arctic Circle to continue the work of his recent deceased daughter, where researchers are studying long buried secrets now revealed in the melting permafrost, including the perfectly preserved remains of a girl who appears to have died of an ancient virus. Once unleashed, the Arctic plague. Wait, can we just pause? I didn't realize this book was about a plague. An Arctic plague in like 2030, and it's only 2022. That's like 8 years away. And it's really stressing me out, because like, what if Sequoia's onto something? What if they know more than we do? And they're trying to warn us. Like, okay, I'm sorry. It's too much. Once unleashed, the Arctic plague will reshape life on Earth for generations to come, quickly traversing the globe, forcing humans to devise a myriad of moving and innovative ways to embrace possibility in the face of tragedy. In a theme park designed for terminally ill children, a clinical employee falls in love with a mother desperate to hold on to her infected son. A heartbroken scientist searches for a cure, finding a second chance at fatherhood when one of his test subjects, a pig, develops the capacity for human speech. A widowed painter and her teenage granddaughter embarks on a cosmic quest to create a new home planet. And that is, sounds like a lot. It sounds like a couple different stories intertwined, and I'm excited. This is probably gonna be my next read because I need something light, apparently. You know him, Ocean Vuong. Probably don't, but if you do, you know why this book is amazing. It is On Earth We Are Briefly Gorgeous. Like, what a title. What a cover. I usually don't go for black and white covers. I kind of like the aesthetic of like colorful covers, and I don't usually go for black and white, but something about this cover really stood out to me and really made me want to pick this version. He has another cover, and I like the orange and blue, but I kind of really wanted this like muted color scheme. I really liked it. So let's see. You're a mother, Ma. You're also a monster, but so am I, which is why I can't turn away from you. On Earth We Are Briefly Gorgeous is a letter from a son to a mother who cannot read. Written when the speaker, Little Dog, is in his late 20s. The letter unearths a family history that began before he was born. A history whose epicenter is rooted in Vietnam and spans to Hartford, Connecticut, and serves as a doorway into parts of his life his mother had never known. All of it leading to an unforgettable revelation. At once a witness to the fraught yet undeniable love between a single mother and her son. On Earth We Are Briefly Gorgeous is also a brutal and honest exploration of race, class, and masculinity, asking questions central to our American movement. There's more, but we don't really have time to read it. But you get the gist. This is about trauma and loss and dealing with like familial relationships, and I'm super interested in Ocean's work because I've actually only read like one other book, and it was about his mother as well, and I feel like there's a running theme with his books, but I'm really excited to read this one. I mean, you guys have probably seen this book on like TikTok, BookTok, all the talks, but it is
Talk Talk. Have you guys heard of that one? Talk Talk.
No, I don't think that's a thing. But anyways, it is Transcendent Kingdom. Look at this cover. Can we just take a moment? The UK, they're doing things right over there. Because this is also the UK cover of Aerodactyl. And like, look how beautiful that is. I get that the US, we got a lot of things going on. But I think for that reason alone, we need beautiful covers. We need aesthetically beautiful covers. Okay, so this cover, beautiful. She's the moment. But this book is the Women's Prize. It won the 2001 Women's Prize for Fiction. That alone tells you how amazing this book is. But I will read it. Let's see. So, as a child, Gifty would ask her parents to tell the story of their journey from Ghana to Alabama, seeking escape in myths of heroism and romance. When her father and brother succumbs to the harsh realities of immigrant life in the American South, their family of 4 becomes 2, and the life Gifty dreams of slips away. Years later, desperate to understand the addiction that destroyed her brother's life, she turns to science for answers. But when her mother comes to stay, Gifty soon learns that the root of their tangled traumas reach further than she ever thought. Tracing her family's story through continents and generations will take her deep into the dark heart of modern America. Transcendent Kingdom is a novel about a family ravaged by forces both within and beyond their control. It is a story of love, loss, and inheritance, the myriad ways we try to rebuild our lives from the rubble of our collective past. Also, that, stunning, chef kiss. We want to know more about Gifty's family trauma. I'm noticing these books that I've chosen as a theme. I don't know if it's inspired by recent events of my mother's passing or past family trauma, but I'm noticing. I wonder if you are. But yeah, look at the inside of this book. Beautiful, like aesthetic all around. Those are my reads. I have been wanting to talk about them in a video before I read them so that I can give like honest reviews later on in some later videos. And yeah, so I've been kind of putting off reading them for a while. So I'm really glad that we got to talk about them, that I got to share them before I had more in-depth analysis of them. I hope that you got a couple of cool suggestions for your to read pile. And yeah, now I'm about to go get Nando's or sushi, because I also like the idea of eating sushi. I should go work out as I
look nice, and we can go get some sushi.
Brandon says I have to get dressed and look nice, which, I mean, it's not hardship for me. Just kidding. So yeah, I will talk to you guys later. If you like this video, don't forget to comment and subscribe, as well as follow me on Instagram if you want to know when I upload. Also hit the notification bell. And yeah, this is fun. Look at us bonding. And here comes
Bondage.
all right guys, I'll talk to you later. Bye. Come here, Mello. Come.
No, come.
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 Oh, he comes to you, but he doesn't come to me.
Yeah.
No! No! No, this is my doggy. We're saying goodbye to the people. Say goodbye. Say goodbye. Me exploiting my dog for views. Look at him. Look at him. Like his face. Please subscribe. Bye, guys.